hold this book here, if that's okay.
That is perfect. My name is Robbie Luckett. Today is Saturday, December 17th, 2016. We are at the Smith Robertson Museum and Cultural Center. Tell me your names, and if you would, spell them, please.
Okay, my complete name is Annie Lee Butler Harper. That's ANNIELEE BUTLERHARPER.
Thank you.
I'm Lillie Fae Butler Pierre, LILYFAE BUTLERPIERRE of Edwards, Mississippi.
I'm Marilynn Butler Paige, MARILYNN YBONNE BUTLER PAIGE, and I reside in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm originally from Edwards, Mississippi.
Is it okay for me to record this interview?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, with me.
Just begin by telling us a little bit about yourselves, who you are, your parents, how you grew up, where you grew up, what family life was like, those kinds of things. And anybody can start.
Okay.
Jump in.
Okay. All right, well,
Go
since
ahead,
I'm the
cuz.
old guy here, I'll get started. I was born in Bolton, Mississippi, actually between Bolton and Edwards. It was a thin line as to where the lines actually stopped, but I think on my birth certificate it says Bolton. I was delivered by a midwife, not my grandmother, who was and is, still is, a midwife. Not is in the fact that she's practicing, she's gone on to glory, but I know she's still very, very much carrying on her practice. If babies are being born in heaven, I don't know about that. But as I said, I was born in Bolton, and I was delivered by a midwife. And as a child, I knew from hearing the adults talk about Lillie Butler was a midwife. I didn't know what a midwife was at that time, but I was just, I think I was somewhat a little nosy, and I would always kind of listen to the adults talk when they didn't know I was listening. And I would hear them talk about babies and the fact that Lillie had to go out and deliver a baby maybe late at night or something like that. But as I got older and I learned more, I found out a lot about the things that she did and the many babies that she had delivered in the community, and how she would walk to wherever they were, how someone would probably come in on a horse or a mule and say that their wife was about to deliver, and she would get up and dress up and go and take care of business. When I found out about this, I spoke with my sister in California who lived with her. That's Lillie Parker Butler, that is, and she knows, or she's related to someone who we called her Mo Lillie delivered her first child. He's now living in California, and I will share that information so that he can be contacted about it. But my sister who grew up with her talked about the fact that she was a very, very wise lady. In addition to being a midwife, she believed in not wasting anything. They could be walking to some place, and if she walked past a board or a stick or anything, she would pick it up and say, oh, this can be used to build a house or used for something, and she picked up everything. And eventually she used it. She also shared with me the fact that she would carry a basket filled with something on top of her head and 2 buckets in her hand, and they would walk to town and go to the back doors of homes and sell whatever she had in those containers. And we talk about her from time to time. When I got to know her, I believe she had retired from being a midwife, but I just remember she was a church lady. She was a very well-learned, she could have been an OBGYN had that been, someplace for her to go at that time. But to my knowledge and to my memory, she was a wonderful, wise lady.
Thank you. Tell us a little about yourselves.
Well, for me, I am named for my grandmother, and that that was a plight that I had to grow into because those were big shoes to fill. My grandmother was very, as my cousin Ann indicated, very well learned. She was very articulate. But one thing that I found most profound about my grandmother was her preparation in anything, whether we were making change on Sunday for the Sunday school, if we were going through our literature for our Christmas program, preparation was essential for my grandmother. As my cousin indicated, she always picked up something. She always had, if you needed a thimble, a pen, whatever, she had it somewhere. She was like that person. But we were speaking before we got started about our memories, many fond memories of my grandmother. We were a part of the same church down in St. Mark, and my grandmother was one of the founding members, as well as my dad's name is etched on the cornerstone at the church. His name is Alcorn Butler, Sr. But my grandmother instilled in us a sense of ownership, meaning own what it is that you're doing, make decisions about it, never be just content with what you're doing, always want to build on more, even if you have to improvise to make it for yourself. So like I said, I'm named for her. I'm 13 of 15 siblings. My sister is here, another one is here, but she's not feeling good. But we were raised with the sense of family and connectedness and being cohesive. And my grandmother used to always tell me, walk with purpose. I just couldn't walk like lollygag. I had to walk with purpose, like I had a mission to do something. She would always tell us things about an idle mind is a devil's workshop. When she would come home, if we were not doing something productive, she would encourage us to read. My grandmother taught me how to do multiplication. Basically in the dirt, she wanted to see what I knew and how I could do it. So fun stories of her delivering I got from my aunt, which is her sister, is her preparation on getting the pads made up to deliver. She would use old newspapers, and lots of the whites would save the newspapers for her to make her pads for the mother. She always wanted the mother to be comfortable, and she would deliver babies sometimes without money. She would just take whatever they had, if it was, you know, a piece of pork chop sandwich or a bacon sandwich or whatever, she would take it. And one thing that I'm most impressed with about my grandmother is when babies were born, that they had complications. Like one fella had a cleft foot, and my grandmother was able to, you know, get him to Jackson, where the doctors were able to help that young man straighten out his foot. Different, you know, illnesses that happened, my grandmother was able to improvise with different medications that she would make up on her own to give to the mother for prevention and preparation.
That's great, thank you. And we have a picture of your grandmother.
Yes, we have a picture of Lillie Fae Butler here before us today. And there isn't much I can add on to what my cousin and my sister have said, but I will make an attempt. I was delivered by my grandmother on April 17th in 1953 in Edwards, Mississippi, on the spot where the house still resides, but a newer house, of course. I don't have a lot of fond memories of my grandmother, but I do have some memories because my mother passed away when I was 6 weeks old, and I was raised by my mother's cousins. But I did visit often my father and my sisters, my siblings, and I did get to know her to some extent. And what I did learn was very, very informative and very important in my life, because she was a very, very industrious woman. She, as my cousin said, she didn't waste anything. Everything had a purpose. And we would travel with her different places walking, and she could outwalk all of us. We were young, and she was probably in her 50s by then. Come on, young people, you're slow, you know, what you made out of, let's go. So she was always preaching for you to be successful and to try and do the best that you could in life. And I do love her, and I can see her right now. She would come into the house sometimes in the mornings, and get up, everybody, get up, young folks, it's time to go to church, get up, young folks. Oh my goodness, here comes Mama Lillie. So, but those are my memories of her, the times I did spend with her, which were great. And I wish I had more time to spend with her.
Sounds like a large family, both kind of your immediate family and extended family? Did everybody live relatively close to each other?
My sister and I, we're one of 15.
Yes.
And we all lived in, I think maybe a 2-room house.
And I would
maybe
come
3-room.
and I would come to visit them. When my mother passed, my father, my cousin, Olivia Chrysler, took me and raised me because my father had to work and he needed someone to help him with me. So she took me in and raised me from a baby until 16, at which time she passed away. But during that time, she always made it a point to take me to visit my sisters and brothers and spend time with my sisters and brothers. And when I would go spend time with them, we'd all stay together in that 2-bedroom house. And we'd have fun, and we didn't realize,
we didn't know we were poor.
We didn't know we were poor.
We had no idea.
The richest people in the world.
Dude, we had no idea we were poor. When I look back over my life and I think about my accomplishments and my parents and the hard work and the devotion that they made, I'm humbled by it.
Yes.
Very humbled by it. And one thing I was going to add about my sister, and my dad, he wanted her to be raised by a female too, because he had 3 other little boys. So she was raised by a female so that she would be able to get all of that nurturing. But when my dad married my mom, she was just like one of us. We never considered ourselves step or half.
Oh no, we were raised as
you can
sisters
tell we
and
look like
brothers.
twins.
Sisters and brothers. Yes.
And your grandmother must have lived nearby as well.
She did.
My grandmother lived, I would say, with us a lot. Because in her practice, she would go from place to place delivering babies, but she had a home base, where she would come, just to do her quilting, or she would come. We grew up essentially like farmers. So everything that we ate, they raised it. And my grandmother, like my sister said, was industrial. She would know how to put up corn, peas, beans, all that stuff was a part of our life. So along with my mom and my grandmother and my dad, we had, hog killing season. We had deer hunting season. We had making sausage. We had killing chickens constantly. So go ahead, sis.
No, I was just saying, and most of we survived on being self-supportive.
Yes.
The only thing we shopped for would be flour, sugar, or corn.
Or
But
rice.
we raised all of our vegetables and everything.
We
And
raised everything.
we raised the meats and stuff that we ate and everything. And we prepared everything too.
And that was thanks to my grandmother.
Yeah.
Because at age 13, she had to leave the school and go and work in the fields because her parents, were sharecroppers and she was the only child. There were no boys. So my grandmother, she had to be resourceful. Being a young girl growing up at that time, your dad with no boys, she was sent to the fields to work, although she wanted to go to school and become a physician. So she was able to meet her life practice of delivering babies. She was able to get the training from the project-based training programs that they had coming in Hinds County, where she learned from other doctors or other midwife about, the OB/GYN type, practice. So she taught us the basis of being women, being proud, being hardworking, and being accountable. You couldn't go to my grandmother and say, all puffed up and crying like you was messed up, because she wanted to know, what did you do? She wanted you to be accountable for your actions. And once you were accountable, then she'd come up with a plan. But she would never just say, oh, what happened, little baby, or whatever. She called me brown skin girl. I didn't even think she knew I had a name. But she probably called you brown skin girl too. She didn't call us by our names. I'm named Lillie, she's named Lillie, but she called me brown skin girl. I accepted it.
When was she born?
She died at 90. She died in 1976. She was born in 1880, I think 1884, but I'll get the dates.
Wow.
It was in the 1880s. It was 1880s. I don't know the exact.
But she died at 90 in 1977.
An amazing life.
Yes.
An amazing life.
Had she had a formal education, who knows?
So that woman, and I was sharing with my siblings in the green room, even if, it wasn't like you could go to her for anything, But even if it was just like something so critical, people would come to her with their paperwork to read it. If they had some land issue or something that was big that was involving them or involving the town, they would bring it to her to read it, to explain it to them. And when they wanted someone to talk about the civil rights from Edwards, they sent her up here in Jackson to talk to, when Dr. King came down for the Poor People's Campaign, my grandmother was the spokesperson. So what I'm saying is, if it's something that was so difficult for the townspeople to understand and know how to proceed, they would bring it to my grandmother and let her discern it, and she would tell them what to do and how to proceed.
How did she get her education?
Scepter?
She started reading at about 4 years old because she loved books. And the sharecropper's wife took a notice to her and found out that she was very keen on learning. She was articulate, so she started giving her books. And she started reading with her. But then, like I said, at 13, she had to go to the fields. So she went to school from like 6 or 7 to 13. She got that profound learning about life, about academics, about science, medicine, just in that short time. So her dad, like I said, he wanted her in the field. He knew that she wanted to go on to college and become, a doctor, physician, but he needed her in the field. So she had to get out there and plow the fields.
And
And
what,
this was in Terry,
Outside of
Mississippi-
Terry.
Outside of Terry, Mississippi. That's where she's from, Terry.
and what did her mother think about this?
Her mother did not want her to go out there into the fields, but what happened, my granddad came around. My granddad came around kind of like a wanderer. He was going from place to place. And then my grandmother's granddad wanted her to just get married so that he would have someone extra to work in the fields. So her mother didn't want her to get married to my granddaddy. She wanted her to marry this, look like a preacher boy that wears suits and he could read and everything. But my granddaddy wanted her with Jim Butler because Jim Butler could work in the fields. He didn't want to put a suit on. He wanted to get him a hoe and a rake and, get to working.
What did your grandmother want?
My grandmother wanted the man with the suit, but her daddy got her to Jim Butler. That's our granddaddy.
James, James Butler? But everybody calls him Jim. Jim Butler.
Yeah. So she wanted to be with the man that wore the suits and went to church and could read, but that man was not going to come out in the fields and work for my granddaddy. So
But she played the hand she was dealt very well. And
She did.
She did.
And who taught her to read?
who?
Your grandmother. Your grandmother. Who taught your
This
grandmother?
white lady I'm telling
The
you
white
about.
lady did.
Yeah, the white lady got her the books
Wow.
on the plantation for the sharecroppers. So their sharecropper family was very nice to them. So they took a notice of her because she was always articulate. And this white lady gave her, I have her name and everything, and I sent that in the email. She started her on some little books, and then when she saw she was more advanced, she got her on some more books, and then, she went to school, and then she learned more, and then the lady kept giving her books. She would be in the fields reading and plowing, reading and plowing. She did that all her life because her dad said, Lillie, you gotta come out here and work, put these books up. But she brought the books with her. And one thing that she stressed for us, and I wanna say it, is education. She wanted us to be able to get the education. She knew that there was knowledge and power in it. And she impressed upon us. My cousin, she worked down at the college. My sister, she's worked different administrative positions. My other sister, she's worked as an air traffic controller, and I'm a systems engineer. And my grandmother impressed upon us the importance of education, the importance of being learned and articulate and having a purpose, like I told you. If she would see me walking sluggish, she would say, "Walk with purpose, brown skin girl." And sometimes I'm thinking now, am I walking with purpose, Lily?
And she used the term a lot, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, oh my God. And she was known by those.
She coined that OMG.
Yes, oh my God, oh my God. And at some point, perhaps the program will be able to interview my sister who's 80, the one in California who lived with her for
That's
a
true.
while. So I think
Barbara.
Barbara would be a
Barbara Butler.
good.
She knows all about it.
Yes. And when I spoke with her 2 nights ago, she stressed the importance of getting it while it's still in her memory because she's 80. So at some point, perhaps the program can get in touch with her. And the person I spoke about earlier who's related to her, that Lillie delivered her first son. And all she could remember was the fact that she laid her out on the ironing board. And of course, the ironing board didn't have you had to put them between chairs then, but I imagine she wanted something firm to put her on for the birthing. But I'll make sure someone has that information to contact my sister in California. Because the young man and his mother are there in California. Of course, she delivered you, Marilynn. She delivered my brother, but she didn't deliver me.
She delivered me.
Oh my.
And signed my birth certificate.
Okay.
Lillie Butler.
I have some copies of some of the birth certificates that she signed.
That's great. We would love to see those. So she wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah, physician,
And-
some type of physician.
And I assume that led her to be a midwife, but how did she become a midwife?
That training, at this time, when they selected, I guess, young girls to learn about it, they picked her because she was so brave, right? Nothing scared her. The afterbirth, all of the crisis of it. There's been stories of, they would send for my grandmother when someone was dying, and she knew the death protocol, so that the person would die in peace, okay? So they picked up on her being brave, they picked up on her being fearless. They gave her some training, this project-based training, so that she would be able to know what to do. But she also innately, she had the ability, you know?
How old was she when she started getting the training?
She started getting the training at about, once she started went into the fields at 13, some of the people had noticed that she was so brave, she could read, she was articulate, she could figure out all of this stuff. The same white lady that taught her to read facilitated her. And there's some association with the Ford House, or the people with that name Ford, because my brother's named John Ford, and there's a John Ford that's affiliated with this Ford House. She may have been affiliated with these same people up here in Jackson, who taught her to do the work. But she learned about prevention, she learned about prenatal. She would have her customers in different places. This one to be delivered on this date, so she knew, gave them a plan. This one's on bed rest. This one can't have any salt, no sugar. She gave them all these different preventive mechanisms.
Wow. And
She was before her time.
Yeah, she was.
That one was before her time.
And my mother that raised me, she would come by and take care of her. My mother that raised me got extremely ill right before she passed, and my grandmother was at her side, came by to give her words of encouragement. And she would come by sometimes and do medicinal things for her. And I don't know where she got the mother with to do them, but she would do certain things, and when she'd leave, my mother would start feeling better. I don't know what happened, what she did, but it worked.
But she read everything. Everything that they put in front of her, she read it.
And she also provided care for us when we were growing up. Back then you had
Exactly.
measles, and all types of illnesses like that. She had a remedy for everything you had. She had some type of remedy. You may not like the remedy, but she had one for you.
That's true.
That's so true. I just remember that you
Yeah,
didn't
she
ever
remembered.
want Lily's remedy,
She had,
but you realize it would get you well. Yeah.
so did she have to leave the fields when she started midwifing? What did her dad think about that?
Well, her
What did what did he think about her being a midwife?
Remember she got with Jim Butler? Remember that? Jim Butler's our granddaddy. And he was wandering around, coming from place to place. He was a wanderer. And Jim Butler came over there, Wandering Jim, and they got her married. So when she got married, she had, what, 8 children of her own? She had 8 children of her own. That's her daddy and my dad, our daddy, they're brothers. Lafayette Butler's her daddy. Alcorn Butler's our daddy. So once she got through with the fields, she got married to Jim Butler. She got the training to become a nurse midwife. She still went all over delivering babies. Hines, Yazoo County, she went all over. So she was delivering babies and Jim Butler was home with the kids.
And when people would want her, how would they come and?
Buggy, some people would find her by buggy and wagon. You know, I told you she would have a schedule of all of the people when she would give them the estimated births. You know, 40 weeks and all this, she'll know when the baby's coming. She would know all these different things based on the mother's body and implications. So she had a schedule. They would go and get her like late at night or early in the morning. She would stay with these people until the baby came. And one other funny story we were sharing, even if the people couldn't pay her, they would find her in the kitchen the next morning making her own self breakfast. She said, "That's okay, baby. I made me a pork chop sandwich. I'm good." She's going to the next. She was so organized. Remember I told you organization was essential for her. So all of her patients, she had a schedule, a calendar. She would know this one's going to be delivering around this time. They sent a buggy and a wagon to go and get her. She'd get on that buggy and wagon, do that birth, make her food, go to the next person. Because many people couldn't pay her. And I think it was like $25 to deliver your baby back then. That's a lot of money, like probably $2,000 now. But nevertheless, my grandmother's commitment to families and community had nothing to do with money. It was her practice, it was her devotion. She was deeply rooted in her faith. As I told you, she was one of the founding members over at St. Mark Church down in Edwards. So her commitment and devotion, it came from on high. As my cousin said, she don't know if she's delivering babies up there, but she's handling her business.
She's taking care. And I grew up under the shadow that, Lillie Butler must be your grandmother. You look just like her, or you got legs like her, so we all have similar features.
They always ask us,
Your Butler.
Your Butler.
Some strong genes. And the people in the town, you know, they trusted her. So other people would get credit based on her name. So if they would go to the town and they would want, it's not like it is a day, you get some sugar or whatever, they would give in a bag or whatever. And they would say, "Do you know Lillie Butler?" And they would say, "Yes." They said, "Well, go tell Lillie Butler to write me a note," because Lillie Butler could write, and she was one of the few that could write, that she knows you and that you're okay to get this flour or sugar. Then they go all the way back to my grandmother. She'd either say yes or no. The person couldn't read, so they didn't know if they said don't give it to them or let them have it. But my grandmother was like an intercessory for people to get things and for people to have credit. She was that intercessory.
And if they didn't call her Lillie Butler, they called her Mo Lillie.
Mo Lillie.
That's what we all
That's
call
what we
her.
all called her.
Mo Lillie.
Not Mama Lillie, but Mo Lillie.
Mo Lillie. You gotta
You know, like
say
Mo-
it. You gotta let it roll off.
Mo Lillie.
We didn't have time to say Mama Lillie. Mo Lillie.
And her sister in California, Barbara, I got to meet her before I came to Mississippi. She is the spitting image of my grandmother. And she's not going nowhere. Her mind is sharp as a tack. She's got, you see my grandmother's face? That Barbara is identical to her. Got the high cheeks, the moles. She's identical. So if we could get her on camera, because she told me some great stories. Barbara's 80, right?
80. She's turned 80 in December. I think this is her birth month. She turned 80 last December.
Wow.
So she's 81 this December.
You mentioned the pads, and what all things did she have that she would take with her?
Well, because she did prevention and preparation, all of the whites down in the town would save all their newspapers up, right? So she wanted to make the mother as comfortable as possible. So she'd get maybe like 15 sheets of newspaper, then put some cotton in between it, then with some more, and then some plastic, and then she'd make her own little quilting pad. So she throw all that other stuff away. You know, when the baby's born, that's gonna be a lot of waste. So she would be able to keep what she needed and throw everything else away, but she wanted to make the mother as comfortable as possible. You know, there was things that they would have to do, like get the water balls, get whatever the thing, cut the cord. She had a little scissors, she had a little black bag, and our aunt up in Gary, Indiana has these artifacts. So she would make these pads with newspaper, fill them up with cotton, some type of plastic, and she wants the mother to be as comfortable as possible.
And I imagine, now, this is not a fact, she probably saved, you know, meal and flour came in cloth sacks.
Showed it.
So she probably saved those, washed them and bleached them,
She did.
sterilized them and used those
Cut 'em and
so
make
that she could
quilts.
wash,
Mhm.
yeah, and use over again. And I'm assuming the boiled water, they say now on TV, boil the water, but I imagine she used that to sterilize
Sterilize her equipment.
all of her equipment.
Do you remember things that were in the black bag?
I know my aunt said she had her scissors, little bitty scissors that she used to cut the cord. You know, if there was some type of complication, like the little boy with the cleft foot, she had to turn him around and get him out. Maybe she had some device that could help her do that. But everything that she had, I'm sure, was like pre-medical society that we know of today.
And at some point, I remember being told she massaged that foot until it turned the way it was supposed to be, just
Yes.
constantly massaging it. I don't remember how, maybe I heard some of the older people talk about that, you know. They didn't know what it was called, but they knew something was wrong with his foot. And they said Lillie rubbed his foot until it just turned the way it was supposed to be.
But she got him to some doctors up in Jackson,
And they worked,
and she got him to the point where I guess the foot deformity, right when they were born, you know, it's crucial to do whatever. And like Ann said, she was massaging it and putting salve on it. But she got that boy up in Jackson to some doctor, orthopedic doctor, and I think some doctor up in Tupelo or whatever got with them, and they got that boy straight. But I'll share a story with you about an old man that I know who told me that my grandmother is the one that taught him how to count. So when he got a job and they tried to cheat him, he said he figured it out, wrote it all down, and told him, "This is what you owe me." Said Lillie Butler taught me how to count. And they said give him that money because they knew Lillie Butler could do the math.
My Jesus.
Did she have a uniform that she wore, or?
She wore an apron, and it kind of like tied up, and it had the pockets. And it had a pocket here, pockets here. And she had them filled up with whatever you need.
She was so full of energy. She
what
had
about
so
a
much
headpiece?
energy.
I think I've seen, I don't know if I've seen a picture with a headpiece on.
Yes.
She always wore a
Yeah, she
rag
did.
on her head like this, that's true.
She did.
That's when she was going with the women, having the baby, she would wear a rag around her head, that's true.
How long would she be gone?
Oh my God, she'd be gone sometime weeks.
It depended on the circumstances.
How many people she had, and she had a master calendar of all these people that would be giving birth. And she worked with a network of midwives. It wasn't just her, there was like a coalition of them, right? I don't know if there was some society that went out to educate these midwives, but she was a part of this consortium of midwives. So they would work together and collaborate on what they were doing, different techniques, but she would be like the forerunner on teaching them things.
Were they licensed, or was there anything that they had to do like that with the state, or?
Well, they had to get some training, this project-based training.
They probably didn't have that.
I don't think they gave him a license, but she had to, the qualifications for a job like that is bravery. Cause my aunt who gave me all this information said she went with my grandmother one time, and because the screaming and all of that drove her crazy, she couldn't do it. So that would drive you out, even if you got a license, if you're not brave, you can't take that screaming. You know, women having babies, well, you don't know, but it could be complicated.
Yes, it can.
And she delivered each of you?
Yeah.
She didn't deliver me, but she delivered
Her
my
brother.
brother. That's one of the older
Lafayette.
siblings.
And were you delivered by a midwife as well?
Yes, her name was Lucy Jordan. And I'm not sure, since there's a piece on midwife, I may try to find
Include
something,
it.
yeah, about that person, but I remember, her name. And I looked at my birth certificate not long ago, and it has Lucy Jordan on there.
Wow.
But I remember, my mother telling me that my brother was a pretty large baby, something like 12 pounds. I guess she probably had some scales. And she said, Lillie Butler had so many quilts on top of me that it was hot, and she had her down in front of the fireplace, just pushing and doing whatever to get him delivered because he was
So
very
big.
large. And we laugh about that now, of the fact that, those were just probably, many other complications that she encountered. Now, what happens with a very large baby, they have a cesarean, or they can, cut and open up the birth thing a little larger. But I remember her saying she stayed by the fire and said Lillie had quilts on top of quilts, and whatever that would do, it worked. He's here today.
Because they didn't have the test where you could see the baby and know
Exactly.
the sex and all of that.
Know the position of the baby.
That's
Right.
it.
But my grandmother could analyze her patients based on their demeanor, and she would interview them and she would know what they would need. She wasn't able to give a scan test or any type of DNA test or anything, but she could give the test that she could.
You all tell them about my birth. Okay.
She did.
Please.
Well, my sister over there, she's camera shy, not really. But my grandmother delivered her, and she was one of the biggest ones in the family. And I think you were 8 pounds?
No, 9 pounds, 3 ounces.
9 pounds and 3 ounces, which is another rarity like your brother.
Yeah.
But one thing about it, my grandmother delivered her with no complications, and I don't know if my grandmother lost any babies that she delivered. Her sister took her.
But
That's-
Mama went into labor before she got there.
Oh, that's true.
So she had to send for Mo Lillie.
To get her.
And because I was a large baby, that was probably the complication, because
She was so big.
I was a big baby and I was.
And my grandmother wasn't there to go and get her and get the water and whatnot, but they found her because she's over there right now.
Okay.
And she's gonna join us.
Yeah, because she wasn't feeling
Yay.
well, and now she is, so.
Make sure
This is our sister, Annetta Donovan, joining us on camera.
How do you spell your name?
Annetta, Butler Donovan, Annetta Butler Donovan.
Well, we're glad to have you. Your grandmother died in 1976, is that right?
77.
77. How long did she deliver babies? Her entire life, or?
40 years.
Wow.
She delivered babies for 40 years. We have a retirement celebration, a retirement picture. This was a part of it as well. For 40 years, she delivered babies in the neighboring counties of Hines, Yazoo, and I believe Warren, which is going toward Vicksburg.
Did she train other midwives? I'm guessing many women in the profession looked up to her.
Yeah, I'm sure she trained them because, like I said, she was a part of this midwife, consortium. That's how they got her into it. They knew she was brave, they knew she was smart, they knew she was courageous, so they probably recruited her. So I'm sure she shared her knowledge with another younger person.
And I'm a civil rights historian by training. That's what I teach at Jackson State. And you mentioned her involvement in the movement. What do you remember about what she did in the movement? You mentioned Dr. King.
Well, there was a Poor People's Campaign. Dr. Martin Luther King came to our town of Edwards, Mississippi in 1967, I believe. And my grandmother was a spokesperson to talk to Dr. King about integration in 1967. He came down to the Poor People's Campaign in Edwards, and my grandmother was the one talking to him. I met him also. I was in the 3rd grade.
And what did she say to him?
She told him about how the blacks were treated. They wanted to know, because my grandmother had a great relationship with both blacks and whites. And I already shared with you that people would get credit based on her name. So they wanted her to talk because they thought that her perspective would be fair. So they asked her to tell them about how the blacks were being treated during integration.
And I'm guessing she didn't sugarcoat it.
No, you know that.
No.
We've already told
Oh
you.
my God, she told it like it was. Yes.
No, Melinda was really fearless, and she spoke her mind. She was really her own person. And as Faye was saying earlier, she really had all of the attributes that was needed to be good at what she did, you know, because she was very brave. And I think that's one of the things that we remember about her. I mean, I do. I remember her walking from her house up to where we lived, and she always had these bags. She always had, you know, bags and things like that. And we knew whenever Lillie would come, if anything was going on, we knew everything was going to be all right. You know, she was all about order. And if my daddy was at work or Mama was home with us and she wasn't feeling good, once Lillie arrived,
It was fine.
it was because we knew we had to obey.
Correct.
And she didn't have to say anything. She
was just strict in her demeanor. She didn't go around, do this. It was her demeanor, just her structure, her stand, her aura. It just generated order, preparation.
And most of you would have been in school and lived through desegregation. What did she feel about school desegregation?
She felt like the best teachers for us were teachers that looked like us.
And what
And-
happened to those teachers?
The ones that look like us.
And after desegregation?
Well, the schools that I attended, we didn't really have to deal with this.
We had segregated schools. We went to all black schools.
Yeah, we went to all black schools. I went to an all black school.
All of us.
From 1st grade through high
All
school.
of us.
because when
Integration.
when they integrated the schools in Edwards, you know, there was a school for the white kids and there was a school for us. And we loved our school and we had great teachers.
Of course.
And they cared about us and we all excelled in school. And but when they integrated the schools, and we remember some of our friends
They
ended up
went.
going to the white schools.
Flunked.
But it was difficult for them because of how they were treated. One thing Christine did, well, one of our friends told me is that when they went to the white school, the food was so good there. They had good food for them.
Oh my God.
Yes, they had good food for them. But they all flunked.
Yeah, they flunked.
They all flunked. But we had good teachers, and our teachers it was like an extension of our parents. Because,
And let me add one thing.
yes,
Our teachers also went to church with us.
they went to church.
So they
with
knew
us,
our
yeah.
parents. They knew our grandmother, which was like a pillar of our community. So us as Butlers, we had a standard that we had to adhere to. Not just in academics, but in our behavior and who we were. You know, we're Lillie Butler's granddaughters. You follow me?
And also, when in inhabited school, it was reported to our parents by the teachers directly. So we would say, we'd rather for you to do the discipline rather than tell our mother or our daddy about it.
Exactly.
It's
Don't
gonna
let
be a
Lillie Butler
problem.
know.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but Lillie was just a pillar throughout the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, you know, growing up and being a young person growing up, I really did not even understand the significance of having her as a grandmother. But
Yeah.
just listening to everything here, it's like now I'm really proud because,
I was embarrassed.
yeah,
I was embarrassed growing up. because every time something was over, she wanted to talk some more.
Oh, Lillie, I always wanted to get up and talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's over now. What is this about? And that, I'm growing up with that, you know, and then I got that name, Lillie. So I was so embarrassed by my grandmother that I want to make it up now, because she
Yes.
was so wonderful, but because I was kind of caught up in, oh my God, my grandmother,
We
she's
were
again.
children.
She
We
wants
didn't
to make
appreciate
us
it.
do this. I was just like not really appreciative, like my sister said. But when I tell people about my grandmother, they always say, they named you right, Lillie. Lillie is wanting to take over.
And that's why we said Lillie would be the primary spokesperson, because as you can see, she has a lot of knowledge.
Yes.
Because she would tell me things, but did you know this about Mo Lillie? Did you know this? Did you know this?
Exactly.
And I'm like, how did Faye get all of that information? She's like, well, do you remember that? I says, no, I don't remember. But just sitting here and hearing everything, I am so proud to be
I
a
am
part of
too.
that legacy.
Me
too.
And it just makes me want to
I have just named her the official
spokesperson. She's a spokesperson.
She's it.
Yeah, but we come from,
Because I
our
love you.
legacy, yes,
She's it.
I'm proud of it.
I am too.
And like I said, growing up, you know, Mo Lillie was,
Oh my God.
everybody,
All the kids were scared to death of her in the community.
and my mother used to say,
My mother loved her.
she would call Lillie and I, you're just like Lillie Butler, you go from house to house and eat, because we had a lot of friends, and we would go to our friend's house and eat. So Mo Lillie had the name, well, you know, Lillie Butler likes to eat.
She make her
But
own food after
makes
she
her own
deals with
food.
babies.
And that was something, you know, as a child, you would kind of be embarrassed, but now I'm like,
Very proud.
I'm very proud to be a part of Lillie Parker Butler.
Well, this has been wonderful. I mean,
Thank
this is
you.
absolutely fabulous, and I think we could probably keep talking about her for a very long time.
We could.
Because
I too now see I should have been a midwife instead of a
That's what I'm
librarian
thinking.
and a teacher, but I don't think there are any midwives.
No, she didn't. We got RN
well,
though.
my daughter is an RN.
And then we got RN, and her, your sister is RN.
Exactly.
So we got that nursing, but we've got in our family commitment. And it doesn't matter if we're in whatever profession, we are a family of committers. We learned that from our grandmother. And if you ever have a chance to go up to Gary, Indiana, her daughter, Barbara Butler King, is 90, coming on 91. And she can tell you a lot, just like her sister.
A wealth of knowledge.
Yeah,
If we could get up there to Chicago, I'm going sometime soon, because, you know, she always charges me with this stuff to do. Get the picture, do the write-up, do this. And obedience is better than sacrifice. So I'm obedient.
Now, there will be something in her honor here or someplace else?
There is plans in place for the Scott Ford House, which was a house, a family of midwives, and Dr. Alfredine Harrison is attempting to restore it, turn it into a museum, and of course there's the program today. So
Okay,
And I'm
cool.
wondering.
thank you
Are
all.
we missing the program today?
Not
I'm
yet.
wondering if her sister would release those,
What?
that she had, Barbara would donate those?
Yeah,
to
she'll
them?
donate the artifacts.
That would be great.
But
We
we
will
gotta get up there
definitely
and
be in
get
touch
her.
about that.
Okay.
I
Well,
want to just
thank
tell
you
you
all.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
your work.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
it's
you
most
all.
impressive on what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
Keep up the good work.